G'day, welcome. The Mailbag Preview Show, episode 309, brought to you by puntingform.com.au, the database I use. You should too. I wouldn't be anywhere without it. I love it. I can't stop thinking about it sometimes. You can build your own database. You can flick around numbers. You can do whatever you want. It's the way forward, puntingform.com.au. This week's episode, the roster's been stretched. We've got the white Kiwi glove wearer just attending match after match of American baseball. He's so keen on it over there, loving it. What did I say the price was, Lindsay? Might be paying like 24 for a double beer, American, like a big fat can. 24 American is $48 Australian. Gano's doing another podcast somewhere.
Who's doing that?
Jono, the white Kiwi.
Fucking hell.
Butch is in New Zealand. Scurry's in Adelaide, which will explain why he's gone where he's gone with his best bet. And Praddy's, we're not sure what Praddy's doing, but he's working pretty hard. We don't doubt that. And Pistol's a busy, busy man. This week's edition, very exciting lineup. I'm pumped. I hope you enjoy it. Been in the news a lot this week. And will be again after he tips the card at Randwick. It's T. Papley, everybody. Welcome, Tom.
Boys, good to be on my debut actually for the Mailbag Preview Show. So it's
Is it really?
Yeah, I haven't been on yet.
Wow.
I got work training, not work, but but yeah.
How's your week been, man?
It's been good. I've detox this week. Got a big couple of weeks coming up, or big week coming up in Queenstown footy trip, so I look forward to that.
Any Pilates?
No Pilates. You?
Yeah, twice. The Cotton King, my man. The king, absolute king of the trials. He like, if God exists in the trial world, this is him. Tom will vouch for that. We love Zav, but we need and we just love getting the little push, the green light from this boy. And I love doing no work and just trusting him in lightly two-year-old races with lots of horses on debut. Gold was almost struck yesterday on God's carpet, Sandown, the hillside, and it still not yet might be struck for those that are quick enough, including these two blokes. I wasn't quick enough for futures markets oaks betting, but welcome to the preview show, Cotton King, Lindsay Bowles.
Hey Jack, yeah, that would have been very nice yesterday, but that's a nice filly there with Roses we're talking about. Held up, crucial
Busting
stage.
a young train, Willow Road, back and buried, held up the luck,
Absolutely bolting on the bit. Trials were actually very hidden, very quiet, but the way it moved was pretty encouraging. So going towards an Oaks, hopefully, looks very...
We're headed to Randwick first, guys. We're going to do three races 3, 7, and 9. That's the Final Crow, the new podcast that Paps and I are going to start. The Chelmsford and the Tramway. Lindsay, any trial stars headed to the races at Randwick this weekend?
No, I haven't really got the time to do the form at the moment, but I will before Saturday, that's for sure. So I can't really offer anything there.
Captain's picks to find that out, themailbag.com.au. He'll hold your hand all around Australia. Some very sick stuff, some wide stuff. You'll bet sort of 30 to 40 units. Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, sometimes New Zealand, and always Perth at Belmont. Now, Randwick, race 3, the Final Crow, 1100 metre, 4-year-old and up, mares race, Paps. It's a really open market if you ignored the 10. Spirit of Wealth, who's $1.95, was $2.40, $2.50, you're telling me. Shidiac is a $5 chance. We've got Island Deck, Monte Supreme, and Husk at sort of $12 and $13 with Tickle Belly 11s. Longer the rest. I'm looking at your market here, and you seem to have honed in on one horse and one horse only, mate.
Yeah. Randwick rail 4 metres. I reckon it might just play pretty fair. Back on good surface, which is pretty nice. But yeah, couldn't go past Spirit of Wealth. Trialled very nicely. Started $3.30 against Switzerland last start, which is decent form, you'd think. The second favourite, Shidiac, is coming from a Class 3 scone, won by 4 lengths, and they've walked. Brave knock on, has a little tick over in between, but go and watch these two trials. The Spirit of Wealth looks a pretty sharp horse, and yeah, should be winning this race. It's $1.90. He's short, but I still reckon it's a great bet. I got $1.55, $1.50, so should be winning in race 3.
Also 1 p.m, so a beautiful sort of if you don't like playing at that sort of point of the market, it's a good little kicker, a little starting point, foundation, if you like, for your multis out there.
329 days is a little query, but I think just should be too good for him. Like, started $3.30 against Switzerland in a Group 2. This is the benchmark, 78. Tommy Berry on. Lands just on the speed and should be too good.
Lindsay, what do you make of a really hot trial but off so many days off?
You just want to see it move well and you want to see it off the bit. I personally haven't watched the trials, but if you're seeing it off the bit, that's good. I would have watched the trial at some point because Lord Penman was behind it in the first one, who I think is a nice horse. But yeah, you just want to see it off the bit and you want to see it extend well. And hopefully it has. Just looking at the race, I know of Island Deck. I think it's a nice. It was a nice horse at one point. Had some good SPs and some good performances in some of the better races about a year ago. But just looking at the map, it's out the back. Other market dangers, they don't have the best map. So if Tommy gets it on pace, it's got 54. And it runs up to...
It carries 54 versus most of these carrying 57.
Yeah, if it runs up to its peak in that SP, easy to find it.
So
where
that
do you
Huskers,
map it, Paps?
yeah, barrier 1 should be either leaders back or can even hold up the lead. That Huskers running the Group 1V Lady Shenandoah, which was the Surround Stakes, started $81. Then went to the Group 3 She's Got Pizzazz in the Bell Stakes. And that's probably why that horse has got such a high rating, as it's gone to those races. But yeah, this horse looks the one to beat. Best on the card all day. He's short, but I don't know. Might be able to multi one. See if you go. See how we go.
Husk is also barrier 8 first up for a normal spell, and it's PB's 1400 metres, this 1100 metre race, whereas you're a 1200 metre horse.
Yep.
Sharp enough to be good over 1100. 1,000 metres off the bigs, I'll be a bit scared, but 11 I like. That's how we're kicking off 309 of the Mailbag Preview Show with race 3 at Randwick, number 10, Spirit of Wealth, $1.95, $1.90. Bank it in your multis. We head now to race 7, famous race, the Chelmsford Stakes, Group 2, weight for age. Some really, really nice horses and very interesting setups here, perhaps. I'll roll through your market here. The market wants to be with Ceowulf, 210, best around. Sir Delius, $4 chance. Then we've got Arapaho, who was very good at a fat price, I think on a wet track though, $11. Vauban, 11. Lindermann, 11. Land Legend, 19. And Robusto, 16. Longer the rest. You've got some angles here, Tommy.
Yeah, it's I reckon you could pick the race. Well, if Ceowulf lands leaders back or just right there, it's probably all over. But last start, Pride wanted to go forward, couldn't. Ceowulf slow away. Draws barrier 2 here. Yeah, they want to go forward again, but does he come out slow again? And then you're 3 pairs back, 4 pairs back the fence. Potentially one off, but Schofield is Schofield, and you never know. So $2. I don't want to take $2 about Ceowulf with those queries. The horses that sort of are coming back first up. So Delius is a good horse. First up was at Doomben, bolted in. Good as runner. First up, 2,000 metres, Group 3 at Doomben, heavy 8. First up here is not what once further, not the grand final. Will be worse than midfield. I assume this gave Waterhouse, but first up didn't go to the lead, sort of just sat off him and won nicely in Queensland. So it'll be interesting. So I'm sort of half against that at the price as well, $4 about that. I'm happy to be against that. The ones I sort of are leaning towards is Lindermann. Forget went around in the heavy 10 at Randwick first up, hates the wet, but second up last prep was 0.4 lengths off Fair Sustina, second up 1,600 metres at Randwick. Gets the same setup here, lands forward, should be in the 1-1. I think $11 is over around 650-ish. I reckon a 1x4 play, more the place, is a great bet there. And you want it a little bit on just in case Ceowulf doesn't get out and is worse in midfield, getting held up. Vauban obviously is $11. Wants further, never ran over the 1600 meters. Paho was good in the wet. Does go well in dry, does go well in all distances, but I think it's probably around the right price. Land Legend, who was huge last start, back in the field, 1600 meters, I think is in for a great prep, but probably not quite ready for this yet. But yeah, I thought obviously Birdman as well was huge, but a bit similar to Land Legend, wants a bit further. But yeah, I'm happy to go with Lindermann on a 1x4 basis.
Loves a place bet, punters. If it's your first time catching him, which I highly doubt, he's a big man for the 1x3, and that's an even flairier sort of 1x4 from our man. Lindsay, you've listened to all that. You've been scrolling through your punting form whilst he's been talking. What have you found?
Yeah, I have been. I did actually. I've discussed this race and had a look at it. I was at the pub with a good mate of mine, Mitch, and we
Shout out to Mitch.
Yeah, shout out to Mitch. Watching the Mighty Get Along on Wednesday. But we ended up talking about all Saturday's racing. So I've done this race in a little bit of depth. My man Mitch, he's a big Euro man, and he was Delius's, or was formerly Delius, now Sir Delius. He was a big fan. Of course, the query is, it's the Melbourne Cup Spree course, and this is a mile, first up. But that win at Doomben, tight track, it was midfield, held up. That last 400 was huge. So it was a stay with a turn of foot, so it's obviously a very talented horse, we know that. But, when you're talking about price here, you're taking $4 about, a Melbourne Cup horse first up in a mile race against Group 1, potential horses. Ceowulf, just tactically with the stable, they're obviously very...
Joe will get you. Be careful what you say here. Last thing we need is a Twitter war with Joe Pride.
They're very coy, and it works sometimes and it works sometimes. It works and it doesn't work. But from barrier 2, you just wouldn't want him getting held up, I wouldn't have thought. That run last start from the back, full of merit. I think at about the 200 or 150, no fault of Chad's or anything, but he's hit it, and he's hit on the right, it's laid in, kind of had a bit of a brush with the horse inside it, because it looked to be going past Arapaho, and then Arapaho's kind of kicked back on the line. But I think Ceowulf, if it doesn't kind of lay in there, probably keeps that momentum going. But, $2, you'd want a better price than that.
Very short price is scary stuff. What sort of tempo do you think we see here, Paps? Like, is it a genuinely run race where the best horse thrives over a mile, or is it a sit and sprint?
I actually thought it was going to be a pretty slow tempo. There's probably, you look at Adelaide River, Land Legend, Athabaskan, Vauban, Hoyter, Birdman, might go, depends where it lands, but there's probably only 4 horses that are potentially, or usually land in the first 4, but every other horse in the field usually lands worse in midfield, so I'm expecting a slow tempo, and that's why I've landed on Lindermann, because it'll be 1-1 and sort of more suited to the 1600 metres rather than the others that are 2400.
Is Mitch telling you that Sir Delius is going to roll forward and lead this, Gay Waterhouse style, Timmy Clark, TC?
He's very smart, but I don't think he's that smart. You wouldn't know, but he did say full count Felicia.
10, Cotton.
Yeah, they do. He did say full count Felicia on its best can roll forward and be in at 71s. But it's just a messy race, I think. But it's easy to be against the horses in the market. Birdman scratched from another race on the day to race in this. Those trials were just off their head good. Kind of catted it up a bit last start. 26s. Then you have Land Legend, who was a massive run last start from nowhere, and draws 11, clear air, and you get J-Mac at 19s. There's a few angles here to be against horses in the market.
From this, I think you need to soften the price of Arapaho, perhaps, off a very heavy track, which it loves. What are you predicting this track is? Good?
Yeah.
Scary. And Sir Delius just sounds very scary. And if Mitch stamps it properly, sounds like he's sort of fence sitting, which doesn't surprise me, given he's a good mate of the Cotton Kings. But full count Felicia might be a roving banker option here. That's the Chelmsford. Paps all over Lindermann. I don't know what Cotton. You're not really on anything, are you? You're not sure.
I'll back my man Mitchy and go 1/4. Full count Felicia, very small.
I'll back Paps in and just I'm happy double figures, Lindermann, you know?
Yeah, well, you get Nash, go forward.
Yeah, Nash sticks off the heavy onto the dry. Let's go. All right, race 9, the last race we're going to do at Randwick. It is the Tramway Stakes, a 1,400 metre Group 2, set weights and penalties. Militarise. Has he got his nuts? Are they gone now?
Yep.
Sure.
Failed as a rooter.
Yeah, poor
Bit
bloke.
like you back in the day, couldn't shag for shit.
Yeah. Oh, somehow I jammed 3 out of it. Anyway, the market here has Private Eye favourite at 360, the best I could find. Swift Falcon 650 for Uncle Wayne, John, and the other hawk. Linebacker 550, Nutless, gelded for Tommy's man, Tommy Charlton. Willie Do It 14s, Pericles, new stable 950. It's a pretty wide open race, and perhaps you've got a pretty strong view about the pointy end.
Yeah, my man Nash again, which would be nice. Little double for Nash in the races 7 and 9. Yeah, Private Eye got every possible last start, but it might even be the same Christmas run here. I think last start Nash did everything right. Great ride, got the PR, but I think rolls forward again here with ease. Bit similar to last time. There's not many horses that want to go forward. The main 2 leaders are With Your Blessing and Private Eye. Pericles will go forward as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that with Swift Falcon drawing barrier 6, has trialled nice. Will be inside $5.50. Like last defence, potentially I might get one off. It depends, but last defence needs luck. Private Eye will have 10 lengths on it. In run, linebacker, very very sexy trial, but barrier 16 doesn't want to win here. Has bigger fist.
What are you hearing? Going back, going forward, cuddle?
Going back. Especially that stable, they're very safe and like. Yeah, I just don't expect them to go forward here when they're potentially looking like, I don't know, does he go to Cox Plate or where does he go?
I'd say his next 2 runs will dictate his future.
Yeah,
Spring plans.
Yeah, so I don't really expect them to send linebacker forward and try to win this. So I'm expecting them to go back and sort of set him up for the prep. So landed on Private Eye about $3. Look, good win last start. His last 2 runs have been very good, albeit had every chance, but it's going to get every chance again here. Pericles is an interesting runner. Goes from Cummings to Bourne. Last start, first up. Last prep first.
He did the marathon?
Yeah.
Is he alleging a full marathon?
Yeah, I think so. Do you see him? He looks like he's fucking running he needs he even said it himself. He needs a crossover noseband on. He's like,
he was paddling. Absolutely paddling.
He's dead set digging post holes late.
Yeah, but he got there in the end, I think.
Do you reckon you could run a marathon, perhaps?
Fucking no chance.
Do you
Stop
reckon you could
halfway.
run a half?
Nah, I honestly can't. My legs will just blow up and can't.
Yeah.
I can barely run a 2K, mate.
Yeah, well, full credit Bjorn. He's run a marathon. We have an AFL player. He said he can't run one.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like
full credit on
him.
that.
Yeah, he beat me for sure. But 2 preps ago was huge, Pericles, and that was a while ago, but huge first up over 1,400 metres. Usually starts his prep off in Melbourne, so it's different first up here now with Bourne, not Cummings. We'll go forward. A little stamp from Scuzz here from the yard. I reckon I could have a little play on Pericles.
I'm worried that the horse whisperer might be just planning himself in Adelaide for the weekend. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
I don't think you need the stamp at the price because last prep it started $9.50 first up versus Mr. Brightside, Tom Kitten, I Wish I Win, Evaporate, like in a proper race. This isn't a proper race. Like, this is a good race. It's not a proper race. That is a proper race. He starts $9.50. You can take $11 if you're half interested here.
Yeah, I think it's a decent bet at the price, but on top I had Private Eye just because of the map and is in good form, is fit, and Swift Falcon and the others that are in market are sort of gonna have their work cut out.
Look, I don't know if you've made an error here, but I would assume the biggest result you'd have in this race is 11 Osipenko. First up off a smaller spell. What do you like to see? So traditionally, guys, if you're new to it or whatever, we talked about a 300 plus day spell. That was a big break. So that horse has had a big injury or an issue or an excuse, and that's a setback. 160, 140, that's a sort of normal spell for a horse. We see Osipenko here with an 82-day spell. So he's raced through the Queensland winter, had a little bit of a spell, maybe a week or three in a paddock, and then back into work. Do you look for something different, Lindsay, when you do those trials versus a normal set of trials for a 160-dayer?
Yeah, 100%. It's stable dependent, of course, but with Waller, they're normally very, very quiet. But normally you'd like to see him travel well on the bit, maybe give him one squeeze, accelerate a bit, and then put back on the bit. It's ideal tick over for me universally. For Waller, it's probably just quiet.
Penko. Last prep sort of got back to its old self back when probably to 2023. So I just wouldn't mind having just a little spec on him just in case he sort of landed in a nice spot and let go, because he was pretty solid first up last prep, and at $34 could have a little something on.
Third up last prep, $26 versus Antino. So the SPs make sense. He was a horse, say 2 seasons ago, Lindsay, where the spruik was legitimate. Like, this was a Cox Plate horse potentially.
Oh, 100%. I've fallen for him. I think most have. Even last prep, I was actually a fan of him last prep. I thought the trials were really good, and he delivered.
Beautiful. All right, that's Randwick, 3 of the best races. The racing's really heating up, and you can get Paps' plays plus more on Saturday. Just got to follow the Early Crow on Twitter, X, Instagram, and maybe others if we have them. I think they're the main 2. We'll have Eyes on Ponies, where we've lost the last 2 weeks. We've won significantly over the journey. So what that tells me is it's coming, and it's probably going to be on Saturday. Tom's on a good track. I expect good things. Let's go to Moonee Valley. 10 of the best. 10 of the best. The rails in the true. Rain around, not a heap though. Expecting a really good day's racing. Varying sizes of fields throughout the day. And probably from sort of race 6-5 onwards, really significant races moving into the bigger races in the spring, but some really nice races all the same. And then we get in race 9 a Group 1 over the 1,000 at Weight for Age for $750,000. It's a significant race, and it's a really deep, fat field this year. I think there's question marks, Lindsay, over a heap of them. I'll roll through my speed map first, and then, Lindsay, if you want to take it away, would you like to do that?
Yeah, sure.
I got Golden Boom, Q-Man Maybe, Esha, Alabama Lass, and Midwest as the sort of 5 speed horses. Now, it's a 1,000-metre start at the Valley, so they ping for a straight line for a little bit, then they turn straight, and then they go in the home turn. It's high pressure track and distance. Neance Jordan Childs, who was just getting hammered there on the socials apparently yesterday afternoon for going back on a horse that goes back and not getting there in time on a horse that might not get there in time in Silver Magnate. That's what he's supposed to do. Then everyone's on $1.60, mate. Can you just not rev the guts out of it and put it in the 1-1, please? Barraquil thereabouts, Rothfire thereabouts. Arabian Summer will end up 3rd pair of the fence, if not worse, because they'll be passive from the good draw. Can almost guarantee it. Payline thereabouts. Now, Lada Rada, Sir Sway, Oak Hill, and Skybird sort of have their fate set, I think. Lindsay, Cotton, they got to go back. The real tricky horse, it's in the markets, Neance from 10, with the genuine speed in front of it.
Yeah, some of these horses, like you think of horses that have 1,000 metres races from the back of the Valley, like you talk of Brooklyn Hustle, like one of the best there to do it. She came from the back.
That was a Phil in play that day. Absolute Phil. Like, unbelievable. Almost crazy.
I had to mention her. But
one of Mitchell Freeman who has Skybird once at Flemington. We're in the P&O ship cruise, which I call the members stand. It was just coming up the fence on the inside, 2 clicks. Well, I don't want to say it. Remind me. Significant. At 100 to 1 was matched with like 200 to go, and it was going to win.
Yeah, well, just Yeah, some of these horses have their fates set very early, or they have to be very, very special. And I'm not sure they can do that. Skybird's probably the best of them. It's going to be out the back, you'd think.
You think Skybird's a better horse than Oak Hill?
Yes, peak figures. Look at peak figures.
Peak figures. I think it was blessed when it won its Group 1. Time will tell. I think both horses have it up. They're up against it here on Saturday. Go ahead though. Keep going. Keep rolling.
Yeah, well, I don't think Skybird's better chance to be one of those special ones. And then your market elects are mostly on speed. You have the fillies up there. You have Esha, whose tick over was outstanding. But he's a sharp trialer.
Listen up.
So it's
See,
pretty
that was
much
just a little bit of a leak of some trial gold. So Esha's had a little sneaky tick over, has it?
I don't think it's trial gold. She's a good horse that always trials well, and she's near favourite for Moir, and she's trialled well. So it's nothing huge, but she did handle Osmar in that jump out on the bit, 1,000 metres, very good, just led, just so sharp. Esha Wonderboy was chasing hard, Osmar was chasing hard, and Osmar was one of the best trial horses. Early doors, and still continued that, but Esha really just put a gap in him in that trial. Very nice. Also, Alabama Lass had a trial in New Zealand. This is a pretty talented horse, this Alabama Lass. Like that, it was absolutely crunched in betting on that Whirlpool day in that really good race. Absolutely, like I think it was 3 into 250. Looked gone, just kept finding down the straight, 1100. Massive win, big rating.
Win in place.
Yeah. So the trial in New Zealand, I think this horse has more substance to it than a Moir. I think to win a Moir, you have to be somewhat, of a squibby conveyance. Over 1,000 around the valley, and I think Alabama Lass has a bit more than that. So I'll be looking to find her in other races, but if she wins this, she's very special. Just the map early will be chaos, so I never really like betting 1,000-metre races at the Valley anyway, but I'll probably stay out of this one. But I think Esha's probably a deserved fave. Just the map can dictate very quick out of the gates, and could just leave some of the others, too much to catch up. Alabama Lass it could be up there, depends how much intense here. I reckon it'll probably take a sit and just be finishing off, and hopefully I can find it in races down the track in the spring.
Perhaps you got any thoughts, the Moir, this year's edition?
No, it's interesting because that Esha, like on the data and stuff, it's people are predicting 5-6 lengths improvement to win. It's obviously got a lot of upside.
I would argue, but maybe need to find like 10 because, like Lindsay has said, and my map says, this is high pressure. High pressure equals a big rating, and the question you got to sort of ask yourself is like, do you want to trust her to go and find 10 lengths? But at the same time, I don't know if you want to say she won't. But it's a great point you make, because her rating is not significantly impressive at all.
She hasn't really faced much tempo either, so if she can handle the pressure at start 3 and kick away, it's full credit. But yeah, I'll be staying out. It looks a very tough race, but Alabama Lass looks. I like where Lindsay's heading there, 1,200 metres. I reckon see a nice run here. Look forward towards her next start.
This Alabama Lass has never raced over 1,000 metres in its career. This will be the hottest race, pressure-wise, the Valley sees for 6 months. I don't think it's a good setup. I think the race that it won when it was crunched was weak. It beat Gallant Sun, Rich Dotty, Jasmine Rouge, Sweethearted. Nice horses, but this is a Group 1. I don't know what I want to do with the good young horse. I don't think at the moment, as you can see now, as the prices go up, so it's $5. I've made it $4.40. I've made Barraquil $6 versus $6 the market. This horse, Barraquil, I think is a 1,200 metre horse, but this is going to be extremely high pressure, 1,000. So the 1,100 sort of appetite for this horse, it's going to feel like he's run 1,100 if he's good enough. Barrier 9's tricky for Ben Allen. That horse was completely and utterly blessed in run after getting vetted in the pre-race last start. Midwest at it'll get to $71 Betfair late. If you start betting into this race, you need to have the Midwest and the Golden Booms as big results. They've got nice SPs, and one of them's going to get a really good run, if not both. Arabian Summer, I think, will just get buried and need the seas to part for it to be relevant. Skybird, John Allen, backmarker, scary stuff. I will always be bigger than the market. If it got $21, I'd be 31. Alabama last time I am scared of, but as I said, wide, I'm not with it. Neance, I just think it's the most scariest map for a nice horse of all time. They've got to make a decision. They're going to ride 4-5. I reckon they'll ride 4 wide, no cover here and keep it in a rhythm. They were super aggressive when D Moore rode it and won on it in, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a nice enough race at Caulfield. But this is another step up. So to ride it like that here, you can't. It will not get across. I think the easiest bet in this race and the safest bet and the smallest staked for the biggest result bet is Oak Hill each way. You can do a little Paps 1x4. This horse started 250, 270 favourite versus Barraquil, 360, 330 last start. Was not suited, was over racing, was held up key stages. Wasn't Mark Zara's best work. It was a very tactical, laney track that day and it was in the wrong ones. They know their fate from 12. We've talked about it as very likely a genuinely run race. If this horse is what he could be, he might be, at least we're going to get sort of $22, $31, $41 maybe late to find out. I think he's huge overs versus just purely his SP profile. Blake Shin goes back on. I think they're going to overdo it up front, and if Saint can just get that momentum run and swoop, it's probably Oak Hill, and he's a huge, huge price. So in this year's Moir, my play is number 9, Oak Hill, each way. Anything to add, boys?
He's probably the only really... How many out and out 1,000-metre horses are there? Oak Hill.
No, there's a couple. So Midwest, Golden Boom, Q-Man, I reckon is just. But Esha, we're learning.
Yeah.
Neance, I don't think so, but we're learning. But Neance's forms, it's real tricky. It's around She's Bulletproof, and She's Bulletproof shit the bed last Saturday.
It's a bad try. Might not come back, that horse.
That's what I mean. But it might not be good form, or it might be good. There's a few question marks. I just think the one that they've just said here, guys, it's easy, as simple as bet. Take on this horse that have this horse that started 250 last start, wasn't suited, couldn't win, and take 10 times the price here.
There's a lot of pros and cons about a lot of horses. I wanted to find Neance, but the trials were. I've seen her a bit better. But I just wanted to find her through the line. She faced an absolutely brutal tempo one day, 1100 Caulfield, and she just springboarded off that. That was huge rating. So I wanted to find her, because she'll be in the running line, fast tempo, or thinking it's going to be a fast tempo, and she could just slingshot off that. But then you get, you add gate 10, and then you've got to take $7.
And you got to take her first up in a brutal 1,000 versus Oak Hill third up. Grand final, great camp.
Yeah, I'll stay
great rider. Oak Hills, the more I think about it and talk about it, the more units are going to go on this thing. It's going to be a good result for us. Oak Hill, race 9, number 9, Oak Hill, Blake Shin, Lindsay Park, this year's Moir. I reckon that just about wraps up episode 309 of the Mailbag Preview Show, brought to you by puntingform.com.au. Boys, any other thoughts before we wrap?
Back Get a Fix, Golden Eagle.
Golden Eagle, Get a Fix. Cotton, got anything else for us?
Race 6, Moonee Valley. I'll have a bet here. I think Space Rider, sorry. I think it's a good bet. I think we can back it again. On pace suit a day. It's going to roll forward. You get MD this time, but you can take the 485. It's going to roll forward. It was half held up last start. Still reeled off big splits home, and it is a big momentum horse, I think. Just watching this horse for a while, it's not a big turn of foot horse. It just kind of clicks through its gears, and I think it added another string to its bow last start, in my head at least. So I think you can go forward, give a good side at 485. I'm against Rosberg. Quincy McDonald, I love Quincy McDonald a lot, but this Rosberg, its trials are very yo-yo, and Clinton can do that. He can give him a good hit out, give him a sound hit out, ride him real quiet. But I wasn't taken by the way it's moving at all, really. And it comes up here in a strong race. I gave horse out of 1 Saturday races here. Have strong SPs, good ratings. A horse coming out of a maiden Facilitate, that was a huge rating. Last
What
start.
about Facilitate's last start at Seymour?
That's what I'm saying. It come out of a very good maiden Facilitate, and it's here, and it's on the up. And then you have to take 550 about a debutant from gate 2, who's a big lump of a thing. He's got a barrier extension, big lump of a thing around the valley, and he's got to take 550 from gate 2 on debut.
On a yucky speed map.
Yes, and it is. Yeah, it's likely to get buried, and you'll be praying for a gap. I love Clinton, but I just can't understand why it's 550 here. It wasn't taken by the trials, and that map is scary too.
Also, what price do you get per cash if it didn't run around at the Valley the other day? Like, it's failed once. And
you have Space Rider, who was a really, really good rating last start. It's only given the field a kilo. And it's going to roll forward again, give a hope. And then Extremo as well.
Won.
Yeah, well, if the track's playing fair, you can back them both up.
Yeah,
I
but
think. See Lane goes on.
If you watch it close, last start, Extremo jumps really well. Jai's just decided before they've jumped where he's going to settle. So he goes back to go forward, to go in, to go out, held up. He's off, D-lane on, inside draw, Waller. I was disappointed that there wasn't an opportunity to be like getting set at a good price, that horse. I thought, you might sort of dream about, $10, $12, and here's $5.
I'm happy with the 2-bet play, Space Rider and Extremo. I may chop one on the day, just depending on how the track's playing. Facilitate is half scary. It just looked that big maiden win. Say Cosmic, average trials, Beskar, average trials. Planet Red, I think they're going to a guinea, so this might just be a kind of maintenance run. And yeah, I'm against Rosberg. I also did hear, or may have heard, that it was shin sore after a trial. And they've obviously pushed on with it here. Yeah, just 550 in town. I'll probably be laying at the place, backing Space Rider, maybe Extremo as well late.
Anything else? What about the footy tonight and across the weekend? Have you had any changes, Paps?
I'll be tipping the Crows.
Yeah, it'll be a good watch.
Which team have you sort of settled on? You sort of float between 3 or 4, and the 2 that I know that you sort of like a lot are playing each other on Friday night.
Yeah, that's right. Cats, Lions, my 2 teams. You have to have some sort of Queensland spirit in you. So I do support the Lions in some respect. I did see the Big O Coles the other day. I was wandering through on a Sunday morning at about 9 a.m. I'd actually just woken up.
Big set of Crocs?
Blue hoodie.
Be hard to miss.
Hoodie. Oh, 100. I'm the Coles I'm looking at. It's through a shopping centre, so you're looking probably 200 metres ahead of you. And just perusing the Pink Lady apples. He's
towering are you doing your fucking shopping? Why do you shop?
Sunday morning.
I talked to a young jockey yesterday, and he goes, I was just up getting the paper. Like,
no,
these young guys trying to be old, yeah. Just do your shopping online. It gets delivered to the front of your house. It's grouse.
Go outside. Get out of the shed.
Yeah, get out of that shed.
Get out of that shed, mate. But no, the AFL will be a great watch. I'm a big fan of the backman for Adelaide, that Josh Worrell. I was watching him last year thinking he's got something about him, and he's come back this year and just unbelievably good. So
big Texans 300th tonight too.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Texan kick one from the junction to win it. That'd be nice.
Yeah, get off the leash. One of them's going to get off the leash, I reckon.
Big American's back in, which is interesting.
He is.
I think he's back in because of the backman that Lindsay referenced.
Just to cause some, I reckon, just to annoy people.
I hope it's more of an open game than last time, though.
Yeah.
Down the wing, back in.
It was wet last time, wasn't it?
When are you coming down to Melbourne, Lindsay?
Turnbull and Derby, I think.
Oh, I think someone else might be down here. Tell you what I wouldn't mind doing, guys, is like 100 or 50. I prefer 100, but a 50-metre freestyle event. 3 of us. I think.
No, shoulders sore.
Oh, haven't you got Pilates to do, mate?
Yeah, it's my base foundation. The rig's returning. Guys, that's been the Mailbag Preview Show, episode 309, brought to you by puntingform.com.au. If you want to catch more in-depth analysis of the Sydney stuff, where do they catch the Sydney set, Pappers?
SEN 5 till 6 tonight. Get on live. Then at 7 a.m. Saturday morning, I think.
7 a.m. Saturday morning. Probably by the time you catch this, you'll get Mickey Gannon, our man, and Paps rolling through Sydney. You'll get the Early Crow Eyes on Ponies Saturday morning, and there might be more stuff. I can't remember. I hope you have a phenomenal weekend. Please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-858-858, or visit the website. Remember, chances are you're about to lose. That is, of course, unless you go to the mailbag.com.au and buy my stuff. Gamble responsibly and have a glorious weekend. Enjoy the footy and enjoy the great racing. Bye for now.